Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy July 4th. Welcome to another episode of Jesus, Joan, and Journal. If you're seeing me for the first time or joining us for the first time, my name is Joan T. Randall. I am the founder of Victorious You Press. It's a publishing company where we help people write and publish their best-selling books for impact and influence, and then create a legacy from their book by building a business. And so we're excited to have you this morning. I have a very special guest, a dear friend of mine, a friend, a colleague, a sister. And I can't wait for her and I to get into this conversation. So if you're coming in and you're seeing this broadcast, I'm going to ask you to drop your name in the chat so we can say hello to you, and also to share this broadcast for those who may want to have, to have a seat at the table for this conversation. So I am going to take a moment right now, share our intro, and then we'll be right back. All right. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you guys here this morning. And for those of you that are over on YouTube, thank you for joining us. We really want to build our YouTube channel. So if you see this broadcast, if you're watching the replay, please go over to Joan T. Randall TV on YouTube and follow us. The link is also below in the copy of this broadcast. Well, without further ado, I want to bring to you my very good friend, my colleague, a sister, and we have been rocking and writing for about 6 years now. And I want to invite her as my first guest for the summer series of Jesus, Joan, and Journal. My girl, Angela Mitchell, come to the stage, darling.
Hey. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing great, girl. How are you, sis?
I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. I'm just happy, blessed, and I'm just happy to be here.
I love it. I love it. Listen, you and I were talking backstage about me wearing this white wrap on my head this morning. And I am laughing at myself because I was telling Angie backstage that when I was a little girl in Jamaica, you would have this group of women every day. They would go to church like every day, right? They were full white. They wrapped their head in whatever it was that was white. And we were scared of them because we thought they did voodoo. So as little kids, we were always scared of those women in the white, wrap their heads in white. And here I am. I'm looking at myself. I'm like, Lord, I remind myself.
Voodoo women. Y'all know, and y'all know about the women. And then the other women, not the voodoo women, the usher board ladies that always had on they all white, honey, with them stockings and them shoes. And
girl, let me tell you. Listen, good morning, Sister Janet. Nice to see you.
I want to be able to see. Wait a minute. I'm trying to see because I want to share it. I want to share the broadcast.
Oh, yeah, I want to share. I want to share it to Books to Business and Beyond too. So I'm going to turn down this.
There we go.
Turning down this thing. So, sis, good morning. I'm so happy to have you on with me this morning. Today, we are talking about purpose over popularity, right? And our scripture is Romans 12 and verse 2. But before I get into all of that, just share with my audience, those who may have never seen you on my platform before. I've got some new people following me. Share with the broadcast, share to the viewers who you are and what you do.
So, who am I and what do I do? I am Angela M. Mitchell. I am an author, speaker, and master digital marketing strategist, and I am the founder and CEO of Back to Her. And I help women authors and entrepreneurs and coaches and those who want to be to market themselves and their services digitally online. I help them to show up boldly with email strategies and funnels and all of that good stuff so you can make you some money with your products and services. That
I
part.
that
that part. That
part
part. That part.
make you
And
some money.
that part, because that's, we want to make the impact, but we want to make a couple dollars too while we're doing it. So yeah,
Of
that's it.
course. So when you hear the term, sis, purpose over popularity, and I'm just gonna read the scripture, Romans 12 and verse 2, and it says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." Now, when you hear that scripture and you hear, and you are aware of the topic, purpose over popularity, what comes to mind for you?
Man, I feel like purpose over popularity means choosing to go against the grain. You know what I mean? Choosing to do you and not what everybody else doing. Because life be lifing, and it's never gonna look like what everybody celebrates. Because everybody is on TikTok, we on Facebook, we on IG, and whatever else we got going on. We're all over the place. We on all the time. We talking, we this and we dancing and we doing all of this other stuff, but nobody is really showing what the real stuff, because we're trying to be popular instead of really showing our purpose. Or the popularity kind of feeds our ego. The popularity, makes us feel big. It feeds our ego. It really does. And when you feel popular because everybody is watching you or everybody is following you, ooh, I got 25,000 followers, or I got 600,000 followers, and I'm getting to the bag and I'm doing all that other stuff. And that's great. I ain't knocking nobody hustle. But in that hustle, where is the purpose? Where is what you were put here to do? Because we were put here for something, and we were put here on these platforms. But where is it? Where is the purpose in that popularity outside of our ego, outside of building that? Like we were talking about all of these trends and this and that, and we showing up for that. But is that who we really are? When we take, do we really take off that mask and really let people know who we are? And this is what what you gonna get. And I think sometimes we are afraid to share that part because we don't see the value in that. You know what I mean? We only see, the world sees the value in what the trend is. That's where a lot of people are seeing that value, and so we are conforming to what the world is doing and trying to show up like that instead of trying to show up as God told us to show up. Because you don't even have to do all that, really. Because another thing is that whatever your gift and your talent and your whatever is, God gonna make room for it anyway. So if you show up as who you are, the room will be made for it anyway. You know what I mean? And that's one thing, no matter what I've ever been going through, no matter what. And I done been through some things, I always still came as who I was, who I am, not who I was, who I am. Right. And we get lost. I got a little lost along the way, but I still always showed up as Angie. What you see is what you get. I'm always gonna keep it 100. I'm always gonna show up and support. I'm always gonna do all of that, right? But I can't show up for the trends and all of that other stuff. I can't, change who I am to alleviate or make other folks happy. That's just not something I could do. But I think that's what we're doing. That really is what we're doing. It's great to get paid from these platforms, but it's also great, to show up authentically. Because I don't want to, I want to make some money, but I want to also be pleasing in the eyes of God and show up how he want me to show up, right? And be who I'm supposed to be and serve who I'm supposed to serve. Because at the end of the day, we were put here to serve somebody and to show up for other people. But this whole this popularity part, we get too wrapped up in that. I feel like, we're
Wow.
getting too wrapped up in it.
I
So
love
yeah.
what you talked about, the whole, this whole popularity thing for the likes and all of that stuff. And I feel like popularity chases applause. Like, you know what I mean? It chases applause. I need to do this so that people can see me, right? Popularity chases applause. But when it
Yep.
comes on to purpose, it's more about alignment. Like you're aligning with
That
who
is.
you
That's
are,
it.
right? So there is a difference. And you talked about, all of these platforms. Sometimes I feel like people can be bullied into doing what a coach says we have to do or what somebody else is doing. And because they're saying, I'm getting the bag and I'm getting paid and I'm getting all of this, then
Yes.
you start to show up doing the same thing. I think
That's
I was
right.
telling you earlier about a friend of mine who does, her thing. She's known for one thing. And then all of a
Right.
sudden on TikTok, she is doing all this other stuff. And I'm like, I don't even know her anymore. And for me, what that does, it takes away from her, from the genuine, I don't even know if there's a word called genuinity, but it takes away
Right.
the genuinity of who I know her to be. And
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute. When since talking about lipstick? When since you talking
Yeah.
about, you
Yeah.
know, you know, all
Yeah.
the stuff? That's not who I know you to be. Now you can always be on TikTok and you can always do the stuff, but be
That's
you.
right.
Like be
When you're
you.
doing it. That's right.
Right, right.
That's
Operate
right.
in your sphere of influence. Don't try to be following these people doing all these trends, right?
Mhm.
But I want to ask you, sis, was there ever a point in your life when you felt like you didn't know who you are? And
Absolutely.
then when is the point or when is the moment that you realize, wait a minute, I was always beautiful. I just lost myself along the way. Give
Yeah.
us a little bit of take on that.
For many years, first of all, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder back in 2019. But prior to the diagnosis, I never really understood, what was happening and the things that I was experiencing, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. And, when you have bipolar disorder or depression or whatever, your brain is different. It works differently. So you don't even really realize that you in it, like until you in it. You know what I mean? And it's like the moment came when I decided like enough was enough. There's something else. I know there's something else I'm supposed to be doing. And I have done many things, you know what I mean? It's not all about sob stories and low times, because I've done many things. I've done cakes, and I've been a couponer, and I've been a agency owner. I've been all of those things, but I never felt in alignment. And I never did. I love to do it, but I never felt like it was exactly what I was supposed to be doing. And so when those things didn't really work out like I wanted them to, and then I got all down and I'm like, oh my goodness. But when I decided, to write about it, to share about it, to talk about it, and really put it out there, was when I realized, and when things really started happening, because I was sharing, and I said, well, wait a minute, maybe that's what I was supposed to be doing. And God said, yeah, that's what you were supposed to be doing, right? You were supposed to be, yes, there's a season where we're supposed to be hidden, because in that hidden season is when God is building you, when God is, bringing you through all of that mess that, you're hiding, but you're not really hiding. So you don't have to pop out and show and tell everybody what you're doing and all of that, because there's a time for being hidden. There's a time for being quiet. That's where when the building is coming. And you're revealed later. You got to realize it first. God has to give you that revelation first. So you got to stay hidden for a little while. So I had to stay hidden for a little while. It wasn't my time yet. It wasn't time, because God had to renew and transform my mind first,
Come on
right?
now.
And so when that came through, and when that transformation, and the transformation still isn't complete, but I've gone through the burnt part, and I got that beauty for them ashes, so that I got that part. And when I realized it, I was like, it's like a light bulb goes off. It really is like a light bulb goes off. Like, you know what? Everything you ask for, you get it. It just don't look like you want it to look. It's never gonna look like you want it to look. So when I really realized that, and I realized, wait a minute, I got to change the way I think about myself. I have to change the way I think about this whole entrepreneurial thing. It's not even just the personal part. When you change the way you think about all of it and that light bulb moment goes off, I tell you, everything changes. And that's what happened when I decided to share my story. That's what happened, with that first chapter in the first anthology that I joined with you, in the Image in the Mirror. That was it, man. And it's just been, it been up ever since, I tell you. And it's not all about the money you make. It's not all about the popularity. It's all about the lives you impact and the lives that I have impacted along the way. And that's the part that I can conform to, is the
Yeah.
impacting of the lives. But all of that rest of I shouldn't have to dance on TikTok I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
No.
it. I'm just not doing it. You know, yeah, I mean, that's really what it is, was that light bulb moment.
Yeah. Would you say that, and I know you always used to journal, and
Yeah.
would you say that putting your like coming out in the open with your story,
Yes.
about what you struggled with, would you say that that was a turning point in your life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's hard though, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. It's hard to share what you're going through, especially for me, because I that's just not who I've been. I'll, show up and support and all of this other stuff for everyone else. But when it comes to sharing what I'm going through and my pain and my struggles, that's just not something I've been used to doing.
Right.
Because I've always been, the strong person, the strong Angie, and you don't show all of that. But that's not really true strength. The true strength is being able to show your vulnerable parts and your vulnerable times. So yeah, when I did that, it changed everything. It really did. And it was, it was a progress. You know what I mean? It was a progress. I
Yeah.
think that doing what's popular and hiding, it brings attention. But in that sharing is the purpose, and the purpose will bring the fulfillment part. That's
Ooh,
when that's what it is. And that's exactly what it was for me.
I love that. When it says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, it's telling you that, you know, the culture, right? The popularity, the culture
Hmm.
call for compromise. You
Hmm.
compromise who you are trying to be like everybody else, right?
Yes,
But when it
ma'am.
comes
Yes,
on to
ma'am.
your calling, when it comes on to your purpose, when it comes on to what God placed you here for, that demands a level of consecration. And when I say consecration, I'm saying that being spiritually fulfilled. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
So I'm showing up in the image of who I am in God, right?
That's right.
Instead of showing up and being loud. Because I
That's
feel
right.
like when it comes on to popularity, it
That's
has to
right.
be loud, right?
That's
But
right.
purpose is lasting. Like popularity is loud. You get burnout. You know how many
And
people
wore down. Hmm.
that burn out and wore down because you have to keep up with this image every single
Hmm.
day, 10 times a
Hmm.
day, 15 times a day. Like,
Exactly. You got to post 3 times a day. You have to and comment and like and share and engage and yeah. And it's like, oh my goodness. Oh
it is
my
so
goodness.
loud. It is so loud. But purpose is lasting. That's the
That's
thing,
it.
right? Purpose is a legacy. Purpose
That's
means you're
it.
building something, you're creating something, you're doing something so that it can outlast you. When
Yes.
you're dead and gone, and death
That's
is
right.
all of us is going to experience that. But when you are, unalived and gone, you're no longer here, right? Your purpose outlasts you. It's not the popularity, right? Because there are times when it's so loud that you tune it out, you turn it down. I have unfollowed tons of people because
Hmm.
of just being loud and obnoxious with their popularity. And I
Hmm.
applause anyone who is making their money and doing their thing. I'll support, I'll
Yeah.
do all the things.
Yeah.
But be
Absolutely.
you when you're doing it. Just be
That's right.
you. Don't
That's right.
change and turn into this other person. I don't feel so. God doesn't call us to fit in, like He
That's it.
calls us to stand out, right? God didn't call us to fit in with the crowd. That was the beautiful thing about Jesus when He was here. He was different. He didn't fit in with the whole crowd. he stand out for impact. And I think that's
That's
what
right.
this whole thing about where it's a purpose over popularity is. Um, Go ahead, sis.
No, I just wanted to say, and with that, you can't walk in your purpose and try to please people too. You can't. You know what I mean? You just you can't do it. It's one or the other, right? So renewing your mind releases that need for validation from other people. You know what I
So
mean? When you renew
good.
your mind, it releases that need because
Yeah.
we, you know, you feel like you need to be validated. You don't need no validation from the folks on TikTok or the folks on Facebook or wherever they coming from. You don't need that validation. You know, just because you got, I feel like people like really feel like they feel better about themselves when they have a whole bunch of people following them and commenting and you know what I mean, and people debating in their comments and all of that stuff. But where is the purpose in that?
Come
You
on
know what I
now.
mean? Where is the purpose in that?
Come on.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, when you walk in purpose, you may lose likes,
Yeah,
right? But you
yeah.
gain legacy. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. This whole month, it's about legacy building for believers, right? And
That's right.
so you may gain some likes, right? Or when you
Mhm.
walk in your purpose, you may lose some likes because and I know the world that we live in, sis.
Yeah,
I know the world
yeah,
that we live in, and Jesus is not popular, like
yeah.
right in this world that we live in. You'll find that people will prefer not to say the word Jesus Christ or not to
Mm-hmm.
say the word upper G God, but will
Mm-hmm.
say the universe,
Mm-hmm.
right? They will
Mm-hmm.
not speak of Jesus, but they'll
Right.
speak of the universe. So they bypass the creator completely,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
creator who created the universe. And they
Yeah.
would rather say, I'm worshiping the universe than say that I'm worshiping the creator of the universe. That
Right.
blows my mind all the time. And
Right.
so the whole Jesus Christ thing, it is so unpopular to some people, right? I get
Yeah.
ridiculed sometime about my love for God, but I am down with
Yeah.
Jesus, right? I'm
Yeah.
down with, and that is me. And
And
if you
that's
don't
all
like
right.
it, right. And so if you do not like it, then I understand. But you can't come at me to discredit Jesus Christ because I'm not discrediting your universe.
That's
You can
right.
always
Or
go ahead
whatever.
and say your thing, like do your thing, your gong, your chi, your all the stuff. You can do whatever you want to do, right? I will never discredit you for saying that because that's your
Right.
belief. But don't
Right.
come at me for mine. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
and I
And
believe
that's
that
right.
as believers, right, that we weren't necessarily designed for trends, right? We were crafted for transformation. That's
Right.
a big difference. And I'm going to
That's
read
it.
what Janet says. She said it's just easier to show up as yourself all around instead of changing faces. People look
That's
crazy.
right.
You can't remember which face to put on.
You got that right.
That
You
is
got that
so
right.
the truth. That is so the truth. Um, so I want to say this, like purpose sometimes costs you something, right? Sometimes when
Absolutely.
you're walking in, it costs you something, but
That's
the
it.
reward is eternal. Have there ever been a time, sis, when you felt like this new you? Because I know there's a new you. There has
Yeah.
been a transformation in you. And it started by making a decision to write, then making a decision to go back to school, then making a
Yeah.
decision to stand up for what you believe in, making a decision to go get your mental health looked after, making
Mhm.
all these decisions. So I know that purpose costs something. You know what I mean? And now that your mind is renewed and you have done so much that people don't even know about, right?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be on the other side, like looking back at where you're coming from?
Listen. First, let me say every single day that I realized that I woke up, before I even open my eyes, I say thank you.
Yeah.
And that's every single day. And when I oh man, sometimes when I'm riding to work, not sometimes, really every day, when I'm on my way into the office, I listen to different, like that's my worship. That's my morning worship. I listen to my music. I talk to God. The people looking at me, I'm like, yep, I'm pumping, I'm blasting Tasha Cobb's like trap music. That's what I'm doing. So
Right.
one day I might be on Glorilla, but in the morning I'm on Tasha Cobb's, right? So I'm blasting it.
I
But
love
I Take Me to the King. Take Me
Oh,
to the King was a song that I would listen to in the morning when I was on my way home in the morning. I used to work night shifts. And I would be coming home from work in the morning, and it was this. I would listen to it every morning, but it was this one particular morning I was listening to it, and I was in one of the darkest places in my life. And I was just like, man, this can't just be it. I was coming off a 16-hour shift. I was tired. My back was hurting. My knees was hurting. My life was hurting. And I was just like, God, what else? It has to be something else. And this is when I was still working in nursing homes. And then on the way to work, maybe a week or two ago, I was listening to that same song, and I'm listening to the words. Now, the words, the truth is I'm tired. My options are few. I tried to pray, but where are
where are
you?
you?
I'm all churched out, hurt, and confused. I don't know what else to do, right? But then I listened to it again on the
Ooh,
way to work. You know,
shucks.
Take me to the King. I don't have much to bring. My heart is torn in pieces, right? This is my offering. And I offered God my heart when I was
Ooh.
praying and all that other stuff before. And so the meaning of it now, when I'm on my way in the place that I'm in now, listening to it, man, it is just like it's a complete transfer. I'm in a completely different place, mindset, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, every lead that it can be. I'm in a different place, right? And listening, when music has the power to kind of transport you to another time, but to listen to it and remember where I was then when I was listening to it and how far down I was then, and to listen to it on the way now, it's a different feeling, it's a different testimony, and I'm screaming it even louder as I'm singing it because it means so much. It's so much different. Every single thing I ask for, and I never ask God for things. I never say, God, could you send me some money for this? Or no, I say, God, could you give me the opportunity? God, could you give me the strength to get through what's happening right here so I can get to the next level? Because I know it's something else. I always knew it was something else. I just ain't know how to get there. So what God did was sent me people and sent me women like you and like Lynn and like Nadia and like Leslie and like the whole crew of women that I'm now surrounded myself with. That was God. That was the divine connection, nothing but, right? And so for each part and each aspect of everything that I've asked for, God sent me another person, another woman, another opportunity to help me get there. And that's what happens when you transform your mind, because you're now able to listen. I had to clear all of that clutter out and quiet all of that stuff down and listen. And God always he never left. I just had to listen to make sure, to really just listen and do and walk in that obedience. And when I did that, man, so that's what I mean by the transforming and listening to those songs then and now, and just where I'm at now is a completely different place. And it's nothing but the transformation of my mind, nothing but God, nothing but. You can't tell me that there's anything other than that. You
Mm.
just can't. God always give you what you need when you need it. You just don't realize that you get it, right? You just don't realize it.
Ooh, you just preached. That was a whole preaching word there. You just preached a whole word right there. That is preaching. Oh my God. Listen, I've seen the transformation. I've seen every step you took, right? To get to here. And I'm just so absolutely proud of you. Um, there's a couple of truths that came out of what you said that I want to highlight,
Mhm.
that I hear. One was applause. Approval from God outweighs applause from man.
Absolutely.
Approval from God outweighs applause from man. And then there's another truth that I heard: obedience is the currency of legacy. All the things that you
Yeah.
are building now, all the things that you are doing, even the planting, getting your hands in the dirt, all of the things, you know what I mean? Getting your spiritual work done internally and externally. I mean, I see a different person. Your face is
Yeah.
different, your demeanor is different, your body is different, your size is different, everything about you is different. And I'm
Yeah.
so extremely proud of you. I want to, as we get ready to wrap up, there are three things that I want. If you're listening to Angie today, Angie, we could have gone on for an hour. I would have
I'm
listened
telling you.
for
I am
hours.
telling you.
But there are three declarations that if you're listening or watching the replay, that I want you to write down for everybody who just heard what Angie says, right? The declaration for you, and you have to say this to yourself: I choose divine purpose over worldly popularity. I choose divine purpose over worldly popularity. The second declaration is I'm set apart, I am focused, and I'm fully aligned with heaven's assignment for my life. For my life. It's not popularity, it really is a purpose. And I am rooted in truth, and I will walk boldly in what God called me to build. We're building businesses, we're building ministries, we're building books, we're building buildings, we're building
That's it.
land, we're
That's
building
it. Come
legacy,
on.
we're
You
expanding our
better come
territory.
on.
Okay. And we can't be focused on what is going on right now. Did you see
That's
all these
right.
things that got passed in the House and the political scene? Don't
Mm-hmm.
lose your mind over that. Stay focused on you, stay focused on what you want to do. Keep thinking about your family, renew your mind, and think about, what do I have in my hand that I can build a legacy on? We
That's
all
right.
have something. We all have something. When I met Angie, Angie was in the nursing care, which is beautiful, but Angie is a master digital marketer. Okay. Did she know she was going to be doing digital marketing and helping people build their marketing so that they can make money and grow their business? No. But her mind was renewed and she was open to trying new things and different things. And that this has always been the purpose that God had her. She had to go through the stuff she went through so that she can bless the women that she's called to serve.
Yeah.
Listen, that's it for me. Angie, I'm going to leave it with you to give a last word for anybody that's listening.
Listen, whatever it is you want to do, I promise you, you are able to do it, but you got to get up and you got to do it. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
sit around and we say, oh, I want to do this. I want my life to change. I want, and we say it. We say it every day, all the time. But you got to be willing to get up and do it. You have to be willing to do. Number one, you weren't created to just blend in. You know what I mean? Ordinary. We are extraordinary. You were called to stand out in your purpose. So you got to let go of the need to be liked. Who cares who like you? You know what I mean? And if they don't, that's their problem. And just embrace the set apart part. Right. Sometimes you're gonna lose a couple folks, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
Number two, popularity phase. You know, trends fade, popularity phase, but like you said, purpose builds legacy. We are here to build a legacy. Focus on what God assigned you to do and do that, right? Focus on the talent that you got and do that. Who cares what people expect you to do and what people are expecting of you? And then the last thing is renew your mind first. You have to renew your mind to be able to walk in your divine purpose. And let's go. Because you know, we only get to do this life thing just the one time. So
Yeah.
you know, let's go. That's it. Let's go.
What do you have coming up that you want to invite some people to?
I have the Unapologetically Her 5-day challenge coming up. Goodness, I'm excited about it because we are going to get into what it means to be unapologetic as a woman, what it means to be unstoppable, unbreakable, and unapologetic as a woman in your life, in your business, in your relationships, all of that good stuff. We are going into the next half of the year, right? So why not get into that next half of the year renewed so you can get to doing what you came here to do. You said you want to make some money. You said you want to write a book. You want to start a business. You want to do all that stuff. Well, you got to get unapologetic about who you are and what you came here to do. And then you got to get on up here and go do it. So the link, I'm going to hit this. I'm going to drop this link in here
Yep.
in the chat. You get a nice free workbook. And if y'all know anything about me, I love a good workbook, y'all. So you it's a nice free workbook that you're going to get in there. And so down register is 5 days, July 7th to the 11th. I did it it wasn't live. This time we are live on Zoom. So we're gonna catch this energy.
Ooh,
We're gonna
nice.
own your story. You're gonna reframe your pain, and you are gonna step into her, the version of you that refuses to dim her light. So let's get it, y'all. Let's go.
And then, sis, send me that link so that when I do the replay of this, I could just drop the link for you too.
I most certainly will. Yes, ma'am.
Listen, thank you so much for coming on and joining me for my summer series,
Anytime.
Jesus Joan Journal. You were the reason that I'm doing it in July because I wasn't going to do it, but you made me do it. It's only, you know, purposeful that I made you my first guest for the series. So thank you, my sister. I love you so much and I appreciate you. Congratulations on all the amazing things. And I see you walking in purpose. God bless you. All right, guys, that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, I see it. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it right in the comments here. Perfect. Thank you. There is the link. So you can click on the link and
register, y'all. Let's go. Let's go, ladies. Let's go.
Unapologetically her. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thank you for joining me. And I see you all on Monday at 8 a.m. Bye, guys.